Ipinakita ng mga Pilipino kung gaano sila karaming sumusuporta kay Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte matapos na iparamdam nila kay Atty Regal Oliva, isang vlogger na dating supporter ng dating Pangulo na naglabas ng kanyang point of view o POV sa kaso ng dating Pangulo sa International Criminal Court o ICC. Hindi nagustuhan ng mga tao ang ginawa ni Atty Oliva kaya sa loob lamang ng 24 oras ay agad na nabawasan ng 200,000 followers ang kanyang 1,800,000 followers sa social media account, kung kaya't naging 1,600,000 na lamang ito at posibleng bumaba pa sa mga susunod na araw.
When a man once called Tatay Digong now stands before the International Criminal Court, it is no longer a matter of politics. It is a matter of law. And the law, kahit gaano kapakalakas noon, does not kneel before power. Former President Rodrigo Duterte's camp, led by his counsel Nicholas Kaufman, has now appealed to the ICC's appeals chamber, questioning the denial of his interim release. The argument is simple, that an 80-year-old man, once the most powerful in the land, is not a flight risk. That age and alleged illness should temper justice with compassion. But the Rome Statute, particularly Article 60, Paragraph 2, provides that release may only be granted if the court is satisfied that such release will not endanger the proceedings or the safety of victims and witnesses or risk the accused's flight. And here lies the crux of it. The ICC did not find comfort in Duterte's assurances. Because how can the court be at ease when even his own family, the sitting vice president herself, has publicly denounced the ICC's jurisdiction? When words like "we will never surrender him" echo louder than the pleadings of his counsel. The ICC is not blind to political undercurrents. It reads statements not as sentiment, but as signal. And so the pretrial chamber held, continued detention remains necessary under Article 58, Paragraph 1. That is to ensure appearance, prevent obstruction, and avert the commission of related crimes. The chamber found the defense's medical claims speculative, the guarantees of cooperation insufficient, and the atmosphere surrounding his detention still charged with intimidation. Now the appeal moves to the appeals chamber, a higher bench that will not revisit emotion but law. The standard of review is not sympathy. It is error in law or procedure. The defense must prove that the lower chamber misapplied the statute or ignored key evidence. Madaling sabihin na mali ang desisyon, pero mahirap patunayan na labag ito sa batas. This is not a retrial of humanity. It is a review of legality. Let us not forget, interim release is not a right. It is a privilege conditioned upon trust. And when a man's record is one of defiance, when his legacy is marked by thousands of deaths without trial, the court may find it difficult to grant him the benefit of the doubt. In truth, the appeal is as much about perception as it is about procedure. To his supporters, this is a crusade against foreign meddling. To the victims, it is a fight for long-denied justice. And to the law, it is simply the next step in a due process that he himself once denied to others. If the appeals chamber affirms the ruling, Duterte remains detained under the authority of the international community, a community he once mocked as toothless. If reversed, he may walk out but not free, for the shadow of accountability will follow him still. The irony is almost poetic. Noong siya ang nasa Malacanang, marami ang ikinulong na walang pagkakataong magpaliwanag. Now he stands before a court that listens patiently, meticulously, and lawfully. And perhaps that is the true justice of it all, that the man who built his power on fear must now rely on the very rule of law he once dismissed. Because in the end, ang batas hindi natatakot, hindi napapagod, at higit sa lahat, hindi nakakalimot. Another day, another Regal POV.
Si Atty Oliva ay tumakbo nung nakaraang eleksyon sa pagkakongresista sa Mandawi City na inendorso ni na dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte at Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Subalit natalo ito. May mga naghinala kaya nag-iba umano ang pananaw ni Atty Oliva kay dating Pangulong Duterte dahil tumawid na o nabayaran na ito ng kampo ni Junjun Marcos. Narito naman ang ginawang paghingi ng paumanhin ni Atty Oliva sa mga posibleng nasaktan o naapektuhan ng kanyang point of view o POV sa kaso ng dating Pangulo sa ICC.
But before anything else, allow me to begin with an apology, a very sincere one. To those who may have been hurt by the words and phrases I used in one of my previous POVs when I discussed about the appeal of former President and incumbent Mayor of Davao City, Rodrigo Duterte, in the International Criminal Court. I admit it was poorly written. Maybe I was tired, maybe I wanted to sound poetic, or maybe I just wanted to stir conversation. And yes, I got what I wanted, the discussion happened, but most of it sadly became personal. It became a flood of ad hominem attacks. Now, what do we mean by ad hominem? It's when people attack the person and not the argument. Instead of saying, I disagree with your point, they say, I don't like you. Or instead of answering the message, they attack or they kill the messenger. And when that happens, the real conversation dies. The space for both truth becomes polluted and hatred. And that is not how civilized, intelligent people should argue. So let me say this again from my heart, from the bottom of my heart, I am sorry. I am sorry to those who felt offended, to those who felt hurt. That was never my intention. But let me also be honest. I never attacked anyone personally. I only shared my legal reading, my perspective, and I stand by that. Because when I speak from the lens of law, not loyalty. In the past days, I have been called many things. DDS, DD shit, BBM, Pinklawan, Dilawan, Ultra Pink. As if thought must always have a color.